Alright, next is a batch of movies that I found at FYE the other day. We'll start off with this little beauty right here. This is 48 Hours with Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy. I actually saw this a few weeks back on Netflix, and also that week I had also seen Beverly Hills Cop, just because I wanted to indulge myself in some vintage Eddie Murphy. I mean, the only people who would do that are people who have a soft spot because they grew up with Dr. Dolittle, or if you're like my parents, they remember him from the 80s where he swore every other sentence and was basically 10 times funnier than he is today. But, that happens. He's a parent, he's getting older, he's mellowing out a bit, and, that's expected. But for people who really want to know what he was capable of, I definitely recommend Beverly Hills Cop. But I also recommend this probably a little bit more just because there were... Okay, I'm digressing a little bit. It's often regarded as the movie that kickstarted the modern buddy cop movie, where, you got two polar opposite personalities who happen to be after the same guy or whatnot, and, they just kind of play off of one another really well. It's a really great 80s movie. It's directed by Walter Hill, who some people might know for The Warriors, a cult classic from the 70s. Streets of Fire. He's not technically a major director that everyone's going to know about, but people who do get into him are, they're in for a real treat because this guy knows action. Most recently, he did a Stallone movie called Bullet to the Head, which I still haven't seen. Wanted to, just because, I love both of those guys, Stallone and Hill. But, yeah, if you're looking for a good 80s action movie that's, legit good, and not just ooh, it's cheesy and actiony in an 80s way, this is a good place to go. Alright, next up, a movie that I still haven't seen because it's never been available to me before until now. Martin Scorsese's After Hours, which is overlooked, dark comedy, thriller type of movie. I'm kind of questioning what to expect when watching this. But, yeah, it's been recommended to me plenty of times by friends and teachers, and I'm looking forward to watching it. I'm a huge Scorsese fan, and I'm interested to see what his comedy is like because, I'm mostly used to Goodfellas or Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, super dramatic type of films, as well as Hugo, which came out recently, which was more of a family, drama type of thing. But, yeah, I figured this is kind of a nifty in-between where it'll be like a mix of super dark subject matter with a little comedy. That poster is really amusing. I've always thought that. Yeah, looking forward to watching that. The big highlight was something I found for under $10. Now, yeah, this is a 70s 3-pack. All 3 movies included are deluxe 2-disc editions, which I always prefer to find because I really love seeing how the movie was made and what people thought of it. Yeah, and on top of that, it's from the 70s, which is pretty much my favorite decade because a lot of my favorites came from that era. The Rockies, the Star Wars, Jaws, The Godfather. I mean, the list just sort of goes on. I mean, everyone's got their own favorite decade, but just based off of how much great stuff I found, I probably love 70s American cinema the most. 3-pack, under $10. Not really sure how to open it, to be honest. It's not one of those slidey-outy type of packages, but, oh, wait, okay. Yeah, I'm not even sure if I'm gonna keep the... It's so amusing, because you look at this box and you just expect, Saturday Night Fever or Staying Alive to be in here, but it's actually 3, dramas. Only one of which I've actually seen, by the way. I think I'll start with that one, actually. Dog Day Afternoon, fantastic movie with Al Pacino and John Cazale. Yeah, I have the 1-disc version of this already and actually tried to get the 2-disc off Amazon, but there was an issue and I ended up not getting it. This is just a really, really good movie by Sidney Lumet, who also did 12 Angry Men, a great courtroom drama. If you look on the box, it says, the robbery should have taken 10 minutes. 8 hours later, it was the hottest thing on live TV. And it's all true. Slightly exaggerated because, like most based on a true story type of movies, there's some creative liberties that happen. But doing some research, it seems to follow the incident that it's based on pretty well. Pacino and Cazale's characters trying to rob a bank, and they end up, botching the whole thing. So it ends up being a big hostage situation that becomes a side-of-the-street circus for the media. And it's funny, it's really exciting to watch, even if it is kind of depressing, but, that's just one of the characteristics of 70s drama. Yeah, highly recommended. I watch it like once a year, and each time I find something new to love about it. And honestly, it's probably one of my favorite movies. I could easily see it being in my top 10, but that's another project for another time, so we'll see how that does go. Next up, we have All the President's Men, a movie that I've heard about a lot, but never actually read into a lot. Yeah, Dustin Hoffman and Robert Redford are in this thing. It's like a journalism/detective thriller type of thing, and all the reviews are pretty dang good. So, two great actors, critically acclaimed, nominated for many Oscars. I think it won like 4 or something according to this box, but looking forward to watching that. And lastly, we have One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, the movie that, kind of similarly to how Star Wars lost to Annie Hall in '77 for Best Picture, Jaws lost to this one in '75, and I've heard nothing but good things about this movie. I'm kind of shocked that I haven't even watched it myself yet. It was on Netflix for a while. It was in my queue and everything. Just didn't watch it. Like, dozens of other movies I have in my queue. That thing is like, it's pushing 100 entries. It's kind of ridiculous. I need to get on that. Yeah, it looks like this is going to be a real pleasure to watch. I love what I've seen of Nicholson so far and stuff like The Departed and The Shining. He's so cool. Something about him, just super cool. A lot of people say this is his best role, which is saying something, mind you. All this stuff right here, just a lot of relics from the past, save for stuff like Brick and The Hurt Locker. If you're a movie person, whenever you can, if you're out at a mall or like a bookstore or a library or something, just, look and see what's available, because you'll find some stuff that you won't really find anywhere else. Yeah, I'm glad I made these purchases and found them. That's about it. I've got a few things planned for future videos. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really been up to too much rather than planning future videos that I'm planning on doing, but in the next few weeks, I'm hoping to come up with like a more formal update that I'll have written, so I'm not mumbling about so much like I am with this. But I just wanted to hold you guys off till I got something a bit more legitimate. Who knows, this might actually become a thing at some point. I'll just like pull stuff off of my personal collection, which is modest. It's not too big, really. I've only, well, to be honest, I've probably spent altogether like $1,000 on the stuff that I own in my collection. But I'm not here to talk to you about what I do with my money. I'm here to talk about movies. So yeah, expect stuff like this in the future. Maybe some more robust reviews that I'll actually utilize a blog that I'm working on, and this supplementary channel, which will be in conjunction with my main channel, so be sure to check that out for original content where I make short films and sketches. Expect a, no, I'm not really. Another thing I'm going to be working on is how to end these frickin' things. Yeah, see you around.